Hello everybody, it is me, Erik, with a K. And just like many of you, I got locked down. But I got up again. Ain't never going to keep me down. I got locked down, but I got up again. Anyway, we must move on, because I have got such an exciting story for you today. That is right. And it's not a new story. I mean, it is a new story, but it is the continuing story of Rosea that we have been looking at. And so if you have not heard any of this story, you should hit pause right now. Hit the pause button. And you should go and look on our YouTube channel, and you should go find part 1, 2, and 3 so that you can be all caught up. I will wait for you. Okay. I hope you are all caught up. For those of you that have been watching from the beginning, you are probably wondering what is going to happen to Rosea today. And I am going to tell you in part 4 of this amazing story by Detlev Linde. And today's part is called Into the In-Between. Thankfully, Rosea's unicorns could understand her and Gideon, and they could even speak. The unicorns agreed to serve as steeds for the two explorers. They were not truly riding the unicorns. They were sitting on them and told them where they wanted to go. This journey was much different from their prior explorations of Togetherland. Before the unicorn ride, they had a clear idea of each destination, and they flew there on the jingle swans. It was almost like there had been nothing in between their destinations. She had shown Gideon the candy cotton forest. He had guided her to the singing falls. Together they had explored the rising river which ran upwards, the bellflower plains where they listened to the most intricate music, the moon mountain which did wax and wane with the phases of the moon, and some other wondrous places. They had never truly travelled through the Togetherland. The in-between was in many ways less spectacular than the wonders they had seen, but it held more surprise. Each place they had seen before had sprung from her mouth or her mind, or from big mouths. This was different. The in-between had to fit. At first Rosea thought that everything was about wishing for things, but there were views, sounds, smells, animals and plants she had never seen or imagined before. She asked Gideon. He was good at explanations, and she did not call him Big Mouth for nothing. Big Mouth, why is this all here so different to the in-between? Well, Fierce, that is a good question. I guess that this place here is in flux. We did not think about it much, so we make up our minds about it on the ride, and this creates it in turn. Rosea had enough of guessing when he went into adult talk and asked him right away, "What is flux?" "Oh, sorry. Being in flux means that the in-between, as you call it, is not fully formed. It comes into being as we step into it." Rosea got that one. "I know that we wish things in Togetherland and they become true. But I am not wishing up anything now." Gideon grinned. He could be smug when he was clever. "We expect things. We do not have to wish for everything. We only need to imagine it. And as we are traveling together, our expectations mix. I am rather sure that the flowers with the slowly changing colors come from your mind. You cannot think about what to you would just be boring, like grass without flowers, and you like pretty things. The butterflies who only fly to a flower which is matching their own color all the time, that is probably me. I admit being drawn towards order and reason." Rosea thought about this for a moment and replied, "It is like the unicorns. Yours are classical and mine are fun. She was proud to remember that he had called his unicorns classical. To her surprise, one of her fun unicorns, the one which was her steed, added to this. We are fun. The others are old and wise and such and talk a lot about nature and harmony and such things, even as we do sing and they do not, which clearly shows that we know more about harmony as we sing. Rosea was curious. The other unicorns can also talk? Now Gideon's steed answered, This is on us. We fun unicorns can talk with everyone. Rosea asked, Can you also talk with plants? Like with the flowers or the trees or with grass? Her steed answered, No, that would be gross. We do not talk with food. Then both unicorns laughed and Rosea chimed in. Once the laughing part was over and the talking part did not resume, the two unicorns began to sing. The song had no words. The voices of the unicorns were weaving sounds into a melody. Not long into the beautiful song of her unicorns, Rosea saw that Gideon looked very thoughtful. Once the song was over, she asked him, What is it, Big Mouth? He replied with a question of his own. Have you ever heard singing like this before? Rosea told him that she had never heard a song like that before. He announced a new conclusion. This place is not all us. Rosea did not know what he meant by this, and so she told him, I do not know what you mean by this. Fierce, I am only guessing here, but I guess you wanted unicorns which can sing beautifully, and they can. The only weird thing is that they sing beautifully in a way that neither you nor I imagined. Rosea was nonplussed. So? He made that important face which could get her so easily annoyed with him. But as she hoped for an answer, she did not point out to him that he was making that face. He replied, I think that everything in Togetherland is directly from our minds. Therefore, nothing that we cannot think of, should not be possible here. The song we heard should not be possible, and still it was. This opens all new possibilities for adventure. We are not the limit. He had talked a lot about possible, and had used therefore, which he always did when he wanted things to be important. And so Rosea really tried to understand what was so important. To her, Gideon was often making things too complicated. Rosea tried to sum it up. We can be surprised. Is that it, Big Mouth? With a sigh, he agreed. Yes, we can be surprised. And then he added with an annoying smug grin, in ways we cannot imagine. That was the next part of our story. I hope you liked it! And just know that there will be more stories all the time. Every day, Monday to Friday at 3 o'clock, there's a new story. And on Saturday at 10 o'clock in the morning, another new story. I hope that you are liking all the stories and know that I will be back with this one, because the story of Rosea and Gideon is going to continue some more. I hope to see you next time when I tell it. Bye-bye now.